With the $200 billion AI industry set to reach $1.8 trillion by 2030, San Francisco and Silicon Valley are about to explode again. Because of this, many people are relocating or moving back to the Bay Area. Since most of the tech companies are concentrated in Silicon Valley and San Francisco, you're probably curious, should you live in San Francisco or should you live in Silicon Valley? After living in the Bay Area for over 20 years and helping over 1,000 people buy and sell homes, I want to break down what it's like living in San Francisco versus Silicon Valley, and I'll tell you why some people choose San Francisco while others choose to live in Silicon Valley. By the end, you'll be able to decide which one is best for you. Before we talk about what it's like living in each area, does San Francisco or Silicon Valley have a better location and weather in the Bay Area? First, we should define Silicon Valley. We're talking about the part of the peninsula concentrated around Palo Alto and Mountain View. As far as tech companies go, I'm going to name a few of the big ones that are located there, but there are hundreds more. You'll find Meta HQ in Menlo Park, Google in Mountain View, Netflix in Los Gatos, Apple in Cupertino, and nearby in San Jose, you'll find Adobe and Cisco. San Francisco has its fair share of tech companies as well. Some are headquartered here in the city, and some just have satellite offices. Instagram, Google, Salesforce, Twitter, Airbnb, Stripe, Square, Slack, Twitch, and Pinterest all have a presence in the city. San Francisco is also currently leading the way in AI with companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, Andy, and Viz AI building out offices here. Many startups are also popping up, and of course, the big guys like Google and Meta are scrambling to catch up in the AI department. For most people, proximity to their job is a major consideration when deciding where to live. Keep in mind that in tech, it's not unusual for people to change jobs every few years. And with so many options in both locations, it shouldn't be hard to find a job relatively close by, no matter where you are. From Palo Alto, you can be in the city by car in about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you live and what time of day you're driving. Keep in mind, though, that Bay Area traffic is no joke. In many parts of the country, it might seem like a long time to be in the car, but many Bay Area residents really do drive a lot. Many companies do offer tech shuttles to and from San Francisco and Silicon Valley, which can make commute a little more bearable and even productive. It's not uncommon for me to drive from the city to a friend's house for dinner in Palo Alto, or even take a day trip up to wine country, which takes a few hours depending on traffic. Many of my tech buyers choose to live in the southern part of San Francisco, where they can hop on the freeway to be in Silicon Valley, or they can also be easily close to downtown San Francisco. Access to the North Bay is a massive win for San Francisco because you can easily visit Marin County for hiking, Napa for wine tasting or a spa day, and even go up to Tahoe to do some wintertime sports. Now, besides commuting, weather is another big factor that you should consider when choosing where to live. Despite being relatively close, the climates are really pretty different. San Francisco is going to be colder and foggier than Silicon Valley. Most days are going to be 67-ish, and layers are a must. I love the weather in San Francisco, but it's not for everyone. Silicon Valley is quite a bit warmer. Most areas are closer to 80 degrees, and the further south you go, the warmer it gets. So if a backyard with a pool is on your list of must-haves, then buying on the peninsula is probably a good choice for you. Another important factor is lifestyle. What's it like living in these locations? The entire peninsula offers many things that people love about living in more of a suburban area. Most of the communities have access to green space for outdoor recreation. They have culture, vibrant downtown centers with lots of restaurants, shopping, and activities. If you want more of a suburban feel and a quieter, slower pace of life, then Silicon Valley might win. But suppose you love an urban environment with limitless dining options ranging from Michelin star restaurants to food trucks and everything in between, live music, beaches, and what USA Today just ranked as the best city park in the whole country, Golden Gate Park. In that case, San Francisco may be a better choice for you. There's pockets of the city that are a little bit dirty, and in some cases, to some people, feel unsafe. Like most big cities, San Francisco does have an edge. So if that's not your thing, then for some people, the suburbs can feel cleaner and perhaps safer. If you don't want to be in the action, but you still want proximity to it, Silicon Valley may be your jam. The city is filled with an entrepreneurial spirit and optimism that anything can happen, which has never been more apparent than right now. San Francisco is known as a place for young professionals, while Silicon Valley can be seen as a more family-friendly environment. In Silicon Valley, you have access to some of the most highly rated public schools in the entire country, and registering for your neighborhood school is pretty easy. It's not unusual for people to choose to live in San Francisco for their younger years, enjoy the city and the faster pace of life with a bit more to do, have kids, and then move to the suburbs when their kids start elementary school. For those who do choose to stay in the city, many of them think about moving again, typically around middle school age. There are some amazing public schools in San Francisco too. We do, though, have a lottery system, and going through that process can be stressful and really time-consuming. On the plus side, there's many different types of schools and a fit for a variety of kids' personalities, interests, or learning styles, but there's little certainty that you'll get the school that you want, which leaves private schools, which range in price from about $15,000 for a parochial school to about $40,000 for an independent K through 8, and around $60,000 for high school. To be honest, going through that process is also pretty crazy. There are also many private schools in Silicon Valley as well, and despite having good public schools, many of my friends who have chosen to live there have still chosen to put their kids in private schools. As you can imagine, saving that extra money by not paying for private schools can significantly increase the price that you can offer on a home in either place. And to be honest, you're going to need it. So how does San Francisco compare to Silicon Valley on home prices? There's a wide range of prices in Silicon Valley, but overall, it's more expensive than the city, particularly close to the tech hubs. However, you do get bigger lots in Silicon Valley compared to San Francisco. The median priced home in San Francisco is right around $1.7 million, and comparing that to Palo Alto, that comes in just over $3.5 million. Mountain View is about $2.5 million, and Menlo Park is just under $3 million. If you're considering taking on a C-suite job, then you might want to consider something in the Atherton area where you might have some friends close by, and the median price is just over $7 million. It's not that San Francisco doesn't have $3 million or $7 million homes, but we do have a wider range of inventory and products to choose from than many of the suburbs, where homes are generally a certain size in certain neighborhoods, and the price range is really tight. In San Francisco, the secret is understanding your own needs around walkability, weather, and proximity to public transportation. Budget-constrained buyers can go for a condo in a more walkable, sunny part of town over a single-family home, or they might consider buying a single-family home towards the outer edges of the southwest or the eastern parts of the city. A good rule of thumb is that you can get a solid house in San Francisco for around the median price point of $1.7, but it's likely going to be a little bit small, likely not going to be walkable, probably not very sunny, and it may need some work. You'll pay about 20% more for sun and walkability. A starter budget for a home in one of the more desirable, sunny, walkable areas is closer to $2.5 to $3 million. But you can get a modest-sized condo in many of those areas for $1.5 to $2.5 million. Headlines often mention that San Francisco home prices are falling off a cliff, and we have seen a correction really across all products. Prices on single-family homes do remain very stable, and condos seem to be stabilizing as well. But the good news for buyers is that there are still deals to be found. Supply and demand is always going to work in the favor of appreciation for a single-family home in San Francisco. The city is only 7 by 7, and it has really limited supply of inventory. And the only way to build more now is to build up, which only leaves one kind of new inventory, and that's high-rise condos. For details on San Francisco neighborhoods, prices, and the amenities, you can check out our neighborhood vlogs, and I'll link that in the description below. But before we talk about who wins this battle, there can be a lot to remember. So if you want a simple cheat sheet breakdown of San Francisco versus Silicon Valley, you can download it for free below, and it covers everything in one simple comparison sheet. I'll put a link for that as well. So who should and who shouldn't live in San Francisco versus Silicon Valley, and why? Silicon Valley might be a better fit for you if you're looking for a more suburban vibe with a focus on work and shorter commute, assuming that your office is in Silicon Valley, or if you're looking for a larger lot size, larger yard, if you want generally warmer weather with less fog, a neighborhood school close to your house without the fuss, and if you don't mind having amenities more spread out and living in a less walkable area. However, keep in mind that Silicon Valley does not compare to San Francisco when it comes to the diversity of neighborhoods and homes, plus urban amenities that make San Francisco so special. And if you end up commuting to the city from the South Bay, you might find yourself stuck in traffic for hours. So if you're working on tech and want a vibrant city lifestyle, crave a little more diversity in the neighborhoods and walkable amenities and walkability, San Francisco is the place to be. San Francisco has my heart for so many reasons. To name a few, I love the entrepreneurial spirit combined with the childlike love of fun that you see in costume theme parties and events all over the city. I love how beautiful the city is. Driving around and looking at the city is a joy, whether I'm looking at the city view, at the beautiful homes that line the hillsides, the bridges, or the ocean. And lastly, I love the food. San Francisco is a city that's constantly evolving and innovating and still manages to retain a unique character and charm. Every neighborhood tells a different story, from the colorful Victorians of the Painted Ladies to the cutting-edge tech scene in Soma. More than anything, it's the people that make San Francisco so special. There's a sense of community and creativity here that's hard to find anywhere else. I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment below and let me know whether you agree or disagree. Either way, if you've made it this far, there's a good chance you're looking for your next home. So if that's you, my team and I have helped more than 1,000 people just like you, and we can help you navigate this competitive market. Or if you want to explore Silicon Valley, I can refer you to a fabulous agent outside of San Francisco. I know all the best agents in each area, and I'd be happy to connect you. See the referral link in the description below. Alternatively, you can just email me directly at hello@ruthkrishnan or text me to get started. If you work in tech and want to dive into the most popular San Francisco tech neighborhoods that might be a fit for you, watch this next video, how factors like walkability, weather, and commute times can impact your decision, plus the biggest mistakes to avoid.